I love it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Unity in Chattanooga. What'd you do? Oh, stand up. No. All right. Give me a little bit. Yeah. All right, everybody. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory again. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. You know, in the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, in the love, and the glory. In the light, and the love, and the glory. I am. Stand up. I am as God created me. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am. In the light and the light, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, in the light and the love and the glory, I am, I am as God creates. Sing, girl. In the light, in the love, in the glory. You got it now? Sing it, y'all. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me in the light, in the love, in the glory. Yeah. Yeah. In the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory. I am. Yeah. In the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory. In the light and the love and the glory. I am. Yeah. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
You know, somebody asked me one time, said, how come you're always so upbeat and always smiling? And I'm like, I'm not. I was thinking about that, and I really do have a lot of struggles. I've been working very hard for over 40 years now on something called acceptance. And there's a passage in a book that means a lot to me that says, acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. And it is as hard as acceptance is for me. It didn't say perfect acceptance. That same book even tells us it's practice, not perfection. So with the conflicts that I've shared with you all, that I struggle with my feelings about the call to love and how difficult that can be in the situation that we live in today. Another person that comes here on occasion shared with me and pointed out to me that unity doesn't teach us that we have got to be perfect. It tells us that we are perfect. We're perfect in our imperfection. And today, I woke up feeling a little bit sad because I didn't make it out to the march, or not the march, the rally yesterday. And the only reason I didn't make it was because I have not allowed my foot to be healed. And I felt like that amount of time on my foot would be pretty difficult. So I did a lot of praying yesterday, but I also did a lot of grieving and had a real hard time staying in my positive. But I reminded myself what Reverend Bronte said is we're perfect in our imperfection. So yesterday I worked on acceptance. Today I worked on acceptance and I got to feeling better. So I wrote this prayer. I don't usually write my prayers out, but I really wanted to think it through. And what I want to share with you all is that we have the sun shining today. We have the ability to love and care for others. And conversely, we're capable of feeling loved and being grateful, which aligns us with the Spirit of Christ that's within all of us. And as these powers align us with Christ, we're able to do all things that Christ can do, including bring peace, harmony, and love to the world. Today, in our perfection as imperfect human beings, Creator, we claim our power of pure love and perfection to bring peace and love to this world. And so it is.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love everywhere. Sure, the presence of the Lord is in this place. Sure, the presence of the Lord is in this place. You with the sadness, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy, you've taken all you can bear. Call me up, you know I'll be there. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show the true colors. True colors are beautiful. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. He loves you guys. Righty. Love you guys. Good to see you. Oh, I live you. In a good way. In a good way. Let's live one another, okay? I love you guys. All right, come on, Penny.
You can bet on that.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. See you.
Bye.
I'm saying crazy. I just make an entrance, make an exit.
I was saying, like you drop in, you drop a bomb, and then you run out.
Let's sing it together. I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. All right.
Well, that was a welcome to Unity of Chattanooga Sunday celebration service. Every week we come together joined in one presence and one power, God the good omnipotent. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. Can I get an amen? Amen. Thank you. I was worried about that. My name is Penny Worth, and it is truly an honor to be a part of this amazing community with all of you. We also want to send out greetings to any of you who are watching on Facebook or later on YouTube. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. Be sure to like us, and we love it when you share your comments. And you can also share today's service with those who you think might be encouraged by today's message. Today, we also want to send special blessings from our heart to hold Margaret Dexter, Gloria Hastings, Gay Arthur, David Nazar, and anyone else who is desiring health and wholeness from physical challenges. So this is really exciting. I see a lot of new faces out there this morning. We are honored that you have joined us today. Our greeter has a special packet of information about Unity as a church in the New Thought movement. And there's a paper on the back so that if you would like to receive our bi-monthly newsletter, you can fill it out and put it in the love offering basket. So I need you to raise your hand so he knows who to give them out to. Okay. And as a congregation, we love to share our love and appreciation for you today with a special blessing. So start to warm up those hands and send it out there. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Unity is a movement that started out as a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Today, we combine those teachings with ancient and modern spiritual wisdom. Our hope is to empower each individual who walks through our doors to create a healthy, happy, joy-filled, and inspired life. As you all know, today is Palm Sunday. It is the official start of the Holy Week, which includes Maundy Thursday, the Last Supper, Good Friday, and concludes with Easter. And I came upon a video produced by Unity Worldwide Headquarters, and I'd like to share the words from Tracy Riley, who is the manager of Unity's prayer ministry. She says, "Some people may wonder, does Unity celebrate Easter?" And the answer is, of course. The Unity interpretation of Easter is meant to inspire each of us on two different levels. The first is, you will hear different opinions about if Jesus' resurrection story is really true. But something must have happened to leave people in his day with the impression that he was not entirely gone after his death. Given Jesus' powerful connection with his God-divine energy, is it really any surprise that he could make his continuing presence known? The other thing Unity believes is that the events during Easter represent events in our own lives. People go through crucifixion experiences in life all the time. These crucifixions often come when anything in life as we know it seems to have ended. Things like grief and pain, anxiety or depression, the loss of a loved one, or a serious illness can make us feel like we have entered the tomb of darkness. I used to teach the children that I called it the tomb of gloom. It's a void. It's where we need to process what has happened. And the hardest part is not knowing what's coming next. But in Unity, we know that there is always a new day that dawns. This is actually a time for creating the next phase of our lives. Unity believes that no matter how bad things may get, we will eventually see good come out of it. Our lives will be resurrected when we learn how to use the pain and let it transform us. Things are rarely the same as before, but we will still have opportunities to express the divine energy within us, because there is always more to become. Easter is about resilience and renewal, no matter what you are going through in life, because there is more going on here than just our human experience. It reminds us that each of us are divine beings on a never-ending journey of life, and we are here to rise above the chaos going on in our world, especially when it looks like everything is falling apart, and to rise above our own sense of victimhood. Our eternal spirits want to be free. lost my place. And we become that by facing, overcoming, and transforming any limiting conditions that prevent us from becoming our higher selves. We all know that life's journey can and will present many challenges, but here is the truth. Circumstances fluctuate. Your spiritual power does not. So never forget that you have come here to learn how to integrate your divine nature with your human experience. So, moving on. I have some announcements this morning, but first I'd like a drum roll, please. Perfect. I'm really excited to share some pretty incredible news this morning about our building fund. Because of your generosity, we have met our $40,000 match. That's worth applauding. And because of that, the total amount in our building fund, again, drum roll, $94,250. Now, you may notice that the red on our thermometer is not bursting out over the top. And that's because since we started this fund a year ago, prices have sadly gone up. The good news is that you still can continue to donate to this fund, especially if you had planned to and never got around to it, or even if you have not donated yet, you still get to do so. Then, going on later in the week, on Thursday, April 2nd, the Wellness Warriors will be meeting again at noon, and this will be followed by Ann's Giving of Light individual sessions at 1 o'clock. And also, I wanted to point out that the Unity leaders from the Southeast region are presenting the Good Friday Project to help people gain a deeper understanding of the 7 words of Jesus on April 3rd, between 11:45 and 2:45 on Zoom. I have put little papers out on the back table to give you the link where you can sign up, and you will get that link to Zoom like a day before. Today, our prayer chaplain, Corliss, will be available for personal prayer, and I guarantee you'll love it. And next Sunday, for Easter, Christina Garza's coming back. And afterwards, the church is providing an Easter luncheon if you don't have other plans. We'd love to have you join us. So now we get up and meet and greet each other, and when you hear the gong, immediately return to your seats. Go for it. And I'd be giving it.
We need it. We need it. We receive it.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay. We're going to backtrack just a second. I know it was up on the screen, but I forgot to put it in my writing. Next Saturday at 5 p.m., Heath has his monthly drum circle here. Okay? Don't forget. Get yourself tuned up. All right. So today we get to welcome back one of our favorite speakers. He has over 27 years of extensive experience in the mental health field. He is a licensed advanced practice social worker and currently serves as a senior therapist and clinical social worker at the Integrative Life Center in Nashville. He became a licensed Science of Mind practitioner in 2001 through the Centers for Spiritual Living, and today is a staff minister with the Center of Spiritual Living in Nashville. More recently, he was ordained through the Universal Brotherhood movement, and he believes that recovering your authenticity and purpose is the greatest adventure you will ever undertake. Please welcome Gregory Fisher.
Yeah. Oh, good morning. Hi. It's so good to see you all. Wow, that is loud. I may have to back that up a little. No. Just I'm hearing myself in it. It's okay. It's the well, you have no idea. You have no idea. So listen, this title, "Found Out." It kind of came from, this idea ever so often when you may have projected a certain image, and you think everyone thinks of you that way, and then all of a sudden you show your backside, and you've been found out. You've been found out that maybe you're not as perfect as you wanted everyone to believe. Life has an interesting way of showing up sometimes in ways we hadn't expected. So this image that we have carefully crafted, right, this perception that we have carefully constructed, sometimes we find that there's someone else behind the curtain, right? Now, here's what's interesting. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Tony Campolo. Anyone ever heard of Tony Campolo? He's a kind of he has passed away recently, but was kind of a big deal liberation theologian. So he sort of was an oxymoron in some ways to conservative Christianity, because he also believed very strongly that we were to be about feeding the poor and embracing the immigrants and a lot of things that maybe these days have become a little less interesting to Christians. I know we like to use the term New Thought around here, but don't forget that it started out as New Thought Christianity. I like to point that out to us from time to time, that ultimately, the teaching of unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind, was originally, and you mentioned it, Penny, and I appreciated it, was originally considered a new way of looking at Christianity. So I think from time to time we have to go back and go, now what was it exactly that was the point, of Christianity, and how does that relate to what we actually believe now? But anyway, Tony Campolo was also a sociology professor at Temple University, and I had the privilege of hearing him a few times. And one of the things that he would always say when he got up to do a talk at a church, he'd say, "Some of what I say today may be heresy, but what's a little heresy among friends?" So, what's a little heresy among friends? I've been recently studying Carl Jung a lot. Because I found out that Carl Jung was deeply, deeply interested in how spirituality and religion matched up. And how, it's like if one's true and the other's true, then we got to find how they're true together. So one of the things he talked about, and I'm reading, it's difficult, but I'm reading the Red Book by Carl Jung, which is a text that is mostly ignored, even in modern psychology, because it speaks so much about the spiritual aspect of psychology, right? But interestingly, the thing that really has caught me lately is a term that Jung used called toxic positivity. Some of you are nodding and even smiling. I'm a little surprised. Because when I read it, I went, toxic positivity? Could positivity ever be toxic? Could optimism ever be a problem? And the answer, of course, is yes, when it leads us to denial. Denial, not good. In the mental health world, when you look at a client and say, I think you're in denial, just know that's not good. If your therapist says, I think you're in denial, honey, that's not good. But here's the problem. My lovely, beloved friend Denise Yergin, who's the senior minister now at Unity of Nashville, and before that she was at Unity in Music City. She and I have been very close for years. And we would, from time to time, get together, and she calls it metaphysical malpractice. I love that term. And for years, I called it the new thought trap. Now, what are we talking about when we say this? And we're saying it in hushed tones behind closed doors. We don't want to say it in front of the congregation because we don't want to give the impression that we don't believe what was taught by Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, about the power of our minds to create our experience, and that to have that experience that we're wanting, manifestation, demonstration of the life we want, requires us to have a certain mindset, right? That is looking to optimism, that is looking to the highest and the best, looking for that which we truly desire as our highest and best opportunity, right? But here's where the problem comes in, is when I believe I have to be perfect in my thinking and my acting and my speaking at all times. Oh, my beloved, that's what you were just talking about. It's what you were talking about. I'm like, oh, they're preaching my sermon. I'll just go home with a check in my pocket. Just saying. But where the problem comes is when I decide that there's a perception of me that is going to be required when I walk in this place. Yeah. I have to look a certain way. I have to always be optimistic. I have to always be positive. I can't see the negative anywhere. And when I walk in here, I have to talk that way and act that way. I don't know. What if I'm hurting? What if I'm hurting? Am I allowed to hurt? But sometimes we kind of get the impression we shouldn't and couldn't. Right? And then what do? We beat ourselves up. We beat ourselves up because it's like, see, there's this perfection thing that I'm supposed to be preaching, teaching, acting, being. But what if I just need to show up hurting? Now I'm going to tell you, I call myself a recovering control freak. And I'm not kidding when I say it. You know, I've realized in my life that one of the ways that I wanted to show up was always that I was in control. Not only of me, but everybody else in the room, right? Of everything, of everyone. And I show up that way most of the time. And a lot of the time it's authentic. But sometimes it's not. And Friday I was at a integrative life center where I work part-time. And I was doing a group session for like about 10 guys, 10 men. And one of the guys there just pretty much said the same thing. He says, I feel like I'm as interested in needing to get over my illness of being a control freak as I am getting over my illness of being an alcoholic. Yeah. He said, you know, I never get to just fall apart. You know what? I had to go, I totally relate. I mean, I've occasionally had to say to my husband, you know what? I'm allowed to fall apart too. He's never seen me that way. Not much. Because it's my job to hold everything together, to keep everything together. I've got this. I'm a minister. You know, I've got degrees. I've got more letters after my name than I've got in my name. True story. You know why I got all those letters? Because I kept needing validation. I had a friend one day who's a therapist. I said, well, I'm doing this new certification. He said, when will enough ever be enough for you? When will you know you've got something to offer, whether you get another group of letters after your name or not? When will it be enough? What if who you are authentically has always been enough? So, I think I'm throwing all of this away. There's a new way that we're looking at mental health these days. It's called internal family systems. Now, here's the idea behind internal family systems. That we all have lots of personalities. We all have lots of personalities, and they were born out of, here's the famous word, the word that these days I'm so sick of hearing I can barely stand it, but it's just because it's so true. Trauma. Traumatic events of our life created these parts. We call them parts. And they show up in response to triggers. So we're out here in the world and something triggers and it makes us feel like we're experiencing that same trauma that created them in the first place. And so they show up. Now you can say, Gregory, are you talking about multiple personality disorder? And the answer is no, not entirely, because first of all, there's no such diagnosis as multiple personality disorder. Interesting. It's just, it's a made up pop thing. There is something similar, but it's not that. No, these parts are not fully formed other personalities that show up and completely exclude. But they're just parts that show up in response. Now, here's how you can know this is true, because a lot of you might be going, I don't know what he's talking about, sounds crazy. I don't believe that. Me all the time. But here's a way you know this is true. Now, if I called Penny and said, hey, Penny, today after the service, why don't I take you out to lunch? And Penny might say to me, well, there's a part of me that would like to go to lunch at someplace nice. You're buying, right? You know. And I get to just experience some time alone with you. And there's this other part of me that knows I have a responsibility to stay for the potluck afterward. You know, we might say, I am of two minds. Or I am of two parts. Yeah. She might have another part that would say, I don't like going to lunch with people that are not my husband. Oh, that's a different part. You see how this goes? You're going with me because I'm buying. Yeah, I did get the check. She gave it to me already. I like that. They give me the check before I leave. So you see where I'm going with this thing. Here's what's interesting. Something else that Penny said this morning that's already part of my sermon. You see, we are divine creatures having a human experience. Now here's the truth. That divine part is the real me, the authentic me. The unique expression of the divine. Oh, it looks different than anybody else's unique expression of the divine. It has a personality and it's real. These other parts, they're part of the human experience. The human experience is made up of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, right? That's the human experience. And then we have this divine experience, and interestingly, they're going on all at the same time, right here. Right here, going on all the time, in conflict sometimes. But the authentic self is what we're nurturing, and it's the part that is always whole, complete, and perfect. Was born that way, has never strayed from that. Whole, complete, and perfect. Right here, right here. And then there's this other thing called my human experience. And it keeps showing up as these other parts. Now the good news is they're supposed to be informed by the divine me that is saying, okay, parts, everybody calm down. Do you remember that character from Saturday Night Live, Sherry O'Terry? She'd, everybody simmer down now. Simmer down now. I have to say that to myself sometimes. Simmer down now to that part. Now, the parts aren't bad. In fact, Richard Schwartz, who created this whole idea of internal family systems, his most famous book says No Bad Parts. The title is No Bad Parts. The question is, how do we integrate these parts back to the authentic self so that they can all work in tandem? Right? So they all work in tandem. They're not out here creating, scenarios and situations. But here's the thing that I'm trying to get across with this idea of found out is they're going to show up. And to the extent that we try to squelch them and keep them from showing up is when we're going to really be in discord. Where we're really, it's like, okay, how about instead of trying to make you stop or not ever show up, I find out how you can do your job from a divine leading. Does that all make sense? A divine leading. That part of me that is whole, complete, and perfect, informing these parts, how we want them to be. The divine self, Richard Schwartz says, is made up of 8 C's. If you're going to take notes, this would be the moment. Here they come. Calm, courageous, curious, creative, connected, confident, compassionate. Did I say connected? Okay, there's one. Hang on. Confident. That's the last one. Look at you. Confident. So here's what I have learned from this. By the way, Richard Schwartz, when he started perfecting this idea 40 years ago, was an atheist. The more he started working with clients down this path, the more he realized this part of us that he calls the authentic self or the witness self is actually spirit, and that it is connected to something greater. And he says those are the 8 characteristics of being in self-energy or divine energy. Isn't that fascinating? So here's what I've learned. What I've learned is when I am really dropped in, attuned to that part of me that is me, but is also greater than me, right? Is me, but is also greater than me. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I'm now even at the place whenever people say, love, you can't really define love. I'm like, you can actually. And here's what it feels like: calm, connected, creative, curious, confident. Right? And the other ones. I threw my notes away. But you know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. That's what love feels like. And where does the love start? It starts here. Isn't it interesting that Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself? What does that infer? I have to love me first. How did we get that backwards? I have to love me first. I have to know what that looks like. So those 8 qualities directed at me. Directed at me. And then it's easy to direct it at other people. It's easy at that point because I got this going on here. Now, one of my parts might show up. See? And one of my parts might be saying, not that one. Very annoying. You know why people are so annoying? Because they're not me. See, if they were me, they'd be far less annoying to me. Isn't that interesting? But when I can get to that place of, what would it look like to know that I'm connected? That I'm confident about who I am? That I can be curious about that other person? Then I can be creative. What would it look like to be able to interact with this person that I'm connected to? What if I had the courage? What if I could just be calm? You see how all that works? I've discovered that's what love is. Oh, and it's also the nature of the divine. Oh, which I am. So parts, stand back. I got this. And it will always look real. It'll always look real. See that toxic positivity? No one's fooled. No one's fooled when we show up that way. Except maybe us. Now, real quick, I'm watching the time. I've been known to go long here. Like really long. Like last time, I think I went 45 minutes. There's a lot going on in the world today. I know you haven't noticed. Because you've been somewhere being optimistic and positive. I just feel like I'm in a place now where I can't get up and talk and not talk about how are we going to show up in the world, this world. How are we going to show up? Yes, sir. Because there's an expectation of us. There's an expectation of this congregation. How y'all going to show up? How are you as individuals going to show up? How are we as a movement going to show up? Calm, confident, curious, creative, connected, courageous. On and on it goes. See? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how it all keeps coming back to this same thing? Oh, so we're going to show up as God. We're going to show up as God. Now, that might not look how some people think it would look. And by the way, you know, a lot of folks are showing up and saying they're looking like God. It looks different than I expected. How are we going to show up? But here's the thing I want us to all remember. It will not be perfect. We're going to do the best we can to remain in that place of self-energy, divine energy, authentic energy. We're going to do the best we can. It will not be perfect. So now that brings me around to the thing I'm most famous for. You were waiting, weren't you? See, when these parts show up and they act out, they might act a fool, as my mama would say. That's when we have to turn to ourselves and say, no, boo-boo. For those of you that don't know me, I'm famous for this. No, boo-boo. Don't go against yourself. Don't go against yourself. Don't say, no, wait a minute, I was supposed to be positive. I was supposed to look positive. I was supposed to look like optimism. I was supposed to look like something. It wasn't perfect. And instead of going against myself, no, boo-boo. We're not going to beat up on me today. I'm not going to beat up on me today. I have a lot of clients. I have a client right now. How this happened, I'll never know. He's a minister at a big fundamentalist church. Now, the first day he walked. Now, look, the gay thing to me, I'm so over it, I can barely stand it. I've been gay for 40 years, and so now when someone comes in, my need to let them know, it kind of annoys me. But I thought this guy deserves to know. There's probably a lot about my life that he does not agree. But here's what's been so interesting. Whenever I drop in to this place, and I'm those 8 C's, I'm not going to say them again, but when I'm those 8 C's, see, here's what's interesting. He can't deny it. Because I want to do, here's what we call this, co-regulate. Ever heard that term? Co-regulate. So I get in this place, and then I ask him to get in this place, and the next thing you know, we're preaching the same language. Right? And I just see him as someone just like me, got some issues we need to work on. You know, and then I get to preaching to him. And the last time he was at my office, I actually started quoting Jesus, and I think it kind of freaked him out a little bit. I was like, look, dude, I was a Southern Baptist minister till I was 30. I can preach that. I can use that language as easy as you can. It all comes back to me. It's fascinating. You know, I sometimes say I'm an interpreter. I'm a translator. I translate what I believe into language that makes sense to them. It's so cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling up here, but I think I'm trying to just get across the point. People. It's so much better to be authentic than it is to be the way we think we're supposed to show up. Way cooler. Way easier. Way easier. Let go of the toxic positivity. Let go of the metaphysical malpractice. Let go of the new thought trap. Be found out. And what they'll find out is you're just authentically you. And that will be enough. And so it is. Oh, that's right. I always forget. You know, every place does it different.
I want what those other two C's are.
Oh. I can look them up. I actually. Let's just do a little brief meditation here. Breathe with me. Take a deep inhale. And now hold that. And now exhale. And now just pause. No need to breathe. And when we exhale, we're bringing in life. We're bringing that which is of service to us. And then when we hold that breath, we're holding in us the life force that's drawing us back to our deepest self. And as we exhale, we're releasing all that no longer serves us. It's done its job, and now we can let it go. And then we pause in that moment where we know we need nothing, not even to breathe. So I'm going to count, and we're going to breathe. So inhale. 3, 4, hold. Exhale audibly. And now pause. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And pause, knowing this, that everything I need, I already have. Everything I want is already mine. Everything I desire is within my grasp. I am it. But gratefully, I am not all of it. I am love. I am divine. And I am having a human experience, and that experience sometimes is challenging. Sometimes is difficult. Sometimes doesn't appear perfect. And that's okay. I won't go against myself. I will remember to return to that which is me and also greater than me. I will stay in that place. I will stay in that place. All is well. All is well. All is well. And so it is.
That was great. I always admire someone who can get up, throw their notes aside, and give a beautiful talk. I didn't see those other two C's in his notes, but I'm wondering if one of them might be conscious. Conscious. So.
I got him. I'll tell you.
Yeah, okay. Well, first we have to do our love offering. So I just want to let you know that your financial support matters because each Unity Church relies solely on the contributions of the congregants to meet our financial obligations. We are not supported by our mothership, Unity Worldwide Headquarters. But I also want you to know that your contributions play in a role for you as well. When you give, you are being invited to step into your own personal flow of abundance. Now, how many people here would like to see more abundance flowing into their lives? How many? But there's a catch. It says in the Bible, as you give, so shall you receive. That is not only the law of abundance, it's also the law of attraction. And I can't begin to tell you how fun it is to be a part of the flow of abundance. I love getting money, I love having money, I love giving money, and I love counting your money. So let's take that love offering today and let's bless it by holding it over your heart. And together let's say our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I receive in abundance. Will the ushers step forward, please?
I am free, I am unlimited, there are no more chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited, right now, right now.
Step right in. So we affirm that abundance is the divine birthright of each person here. We accept these love offerings given from the heart and give thanks for these gifts and for the givers. We see these gifts going forth from financial contributions into spiritual actions of love to bless the mission and vision of Unity of Chattanooga, and so it is. So before we close this morning, I just want to share with you a penny for my thoughts.
I saw what you did there.
I did it on purpose. As we celebrate the coming miracle of Easter, I invite you to begin to see that everything that happens in your life is a gift. And if you treat it that way, you'll spend the rest of your life unwrapping presents. So I invite you now to stand and sing the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God our Creator, and oneness all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God